Alright, hey, it's Mega here. So this is an update on the Empulse 139 with the B40 fault. So I've made a great discovery today, okay? It is it's the Monday before I have to go take it to Clausen Motorsports. I found out what's wrong with the bike, okay? So on the Brammo forum, Kafar, they posted a link to a log file viewer for Brammo files, okay? Now I had like 3 softwares that can do this now, okay? I have the Victory Diagnostic software, which doesn't work on my computer. It looks very nice software though. It'll like, I'll show you, I'll start it up and then it'll just crash right away. So it's useless for me, okay? And then I have a log file viewer that Protomech made from the Brammo forum, and I tried to use it, and it's just like it's really, you know, it's just a bunch of graphs and stuff, and you know, it doesn't really help me all that much. However, the one that Kafra posted from that website, I think it was a German website that had to do with like Empulse stuff, or somewhere in Europe. It wasn't in English, okay? So but I downloaded the log file viewer from that website, okay, and it worked. So basically what it does, it's actually not a log file viewer, it's a log file converter is what it is. So it takes the log file and it converts it to a spreadsheet, like a CSV file, okay? So what I did is I converted all the data from like around when the fault happened, okay? And it was, I know it happened like early February, so I had it all converted into one batch file, okay? So this bike, it puts stuff in the log file like every few seconds, okay? Like in like 1 minute there's like 10 different log entries, okay? So there's a lot of data that it captures. Okay, and it's been doing that ever since I've owned the bike, okay? So it's got like 4 years worth of data in it. Okay, so anyway, so let's go take a look at the log file, and then I'll show you, and then I'll show you all the softwares that I used, and then the one that ultimately worked, okay? So those of you that with like Brammos or Victories can check this stuff out. Just go to the Brammo forum post and it'll be there. So okay, so yeah, let's do the computer view now. I'm here in my office, so bike's in the garage. Okay, ta-da! This is what I've discovered, okay? But anyway, before that, let's go over all the software that I have. So here I got Victory Vehicle Diagnostics, okay? So it's a very nice program that I guess was a Brammo software, and I guess they made it into a Victory software. You can see some of the stuff here. Yeah, so you can check the highest cell voltage, the lowest cell voltage. You can check imbalance between cells, what the low cell temp is, and the high. Oh, so that's what it is. So that's the lowest cell temp and the highest cell temp. So that's what BTH and BTL means. Okay, so that's what Kafra was saying. One of them is for the highest cell temp, and one of them is for the lowest cell temp. So now I know exactly what that is. What I thought this was before, BTH and BTL. This is BTH right here, and this is BTL. What I thought that was before was what the temperature of the upper battery was, and then the lower battery, because there's 2 batteries and there's one on the top or the bottom. And believe it or not, I checked in the manual, it doesn't mention what it is at all. Like it like totally skips over it. There's like motor temp, power, range, and then ambient temperature, and then it just skips the BTH and BTL. Like, okay, like they just forgot to put it in the manual, right? Anyway, here there's a little gauge that tells you the battery volts and the battery amps, and this is calculated range. Lots of nice stuff. So it's basically, it takes the log files, I guess, and it like puts it in a graphical thing, I guess, or you hook it straight up to the bike and it can view this stuff in real time, okay? It's for like tuning and diagnostics is what this software is, okay? It tells you the VIN number and the time, the clock and everything, and oh, it lets you switch to dash modes too, from US to European to UK. So I had heard something about this where if you wanted to change like the units on the dash, you would have to take it to a dealer and then they could do it. So that is true. You have to have this software and like the proper cable to do this. Okay, and this uses a CAN interface. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and I've tried it on 2 computers. I tried it on this computer and my laptop, and it doesn't work. So I don't know what kind of Windows software Windows operating system you need for it. It doesn't work on mine. I'm using Windows 7 is what I'm using. So I know Hades Omega is, you know, I'm using a non-supported operating system. Okay, so yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, so I found something that Protomech had designed to read Brammo log files. Is this Brammo log here? Okay, and then like it will show you. It's not a very good software. I mean, it doesn't read the log files very well. It uses .log files, Brammo log files, and these are DVR and CHG files, or DRV. I think this DRV is the drive, like when you're writing, and then CHG is a charge. Okay, well, let's just open one of these. Okay, and then that's what spits it out. It's all this stuff in, you know, different, what was it, hexadecimal or something, I think. And you can view a bunch of parameters and stuff. So yeah, so there's the bank voltages and stuff, and this is nice because it has a graphical display. I guess you can do this stuff in Excel too, but this kind of just does it like right away. Okay. Does it have a export feature? Oh, it does have an export feature. Okay, so maybe I could have probably done that. I think I tried this and it didn't work though. So I think this is for the inertia. I think it's more tailored towards the inertia, but it works on the Brammo stuff too. So it works on the Empulse stuff. So you can see. I don't really know what all this stuff is. See, it doesn't translate everything very well, so you're kind of guessing what all this data is. But yeah, these are the voltages, all right, for the battery pack. So you can see it go up and down, up and down. You want to make sure all of these are pretty much the same. Which, oh no, they're not. Look at this. Look at the differences. This one and this one, right? That's probably maybe this one. Yeah, this one, like this looks like a much different graph than this. So what my guess is, one of these is the upper battery pack and none of these is the lower battery pack. Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. It would be, I feel like it would have been better if Brammo, instead of just linking 2 giant packs together, is just make one giant pack. Probably would have been better for, you know, longevity is what I'm gonna say. Okay, anyway, that's all the data I can get off this Brammo log reader that I got from Brammo forum. From one of the posters, their name is Protomech. That's their username, and they made this software. Okay, but so let's close that, and then and so I downloaded this software from that website. Okay, so this is the software that Kafra posted on the Brammo forum, or he gave me the website for it, and I downloaded it, and this is what it's called. It's called Convert Brammo Bike Logs to CSV Files version 2.06. Okay, so definitely looks like something somebody made, you know, but I guess it's, you know, it works, so I'm not complaining. I couldn't program something like this. Okay, I'm not a computer science dude. So you gotta find your bike log folder and find all the bike logs. So this is it. This is 4 years worth of bike logs right here. Yeah, from 2015. Wow, from 2015. That's before I owned the bike. That's interesting. And one thing interesting to note is, like, some of the stuff, it didn't work. It didn't read it. There's some files in there that are dated like 2027, and I don't know what the deal with that is. I think that's normal, I guess. I'm not sure why there's some files from 2020 from the future. Okay, but anyway, so what you do is you get your so these are charge logs. Okay, so yeah, so the DRV is drive, and then CHG is charge. So that's how you know what type of log file it is. So whenever you have charge, there's a different log file, and whenever you ride the bike or power it on, there's a DRV file. Okay, so I checked off February 4th to 2021 to like now. Okay, No, what is this? 2027. Okay, never mind. Some of this stuff is messed up. Yeah, this is the 2027 I was talking about. See? That's kind of odd how there would be files from 2027 in there, right? From the future, man. It's a future bike. It came from the past. But anyway, I got it up to like February 9th. I think around the 6th is when this happened, and these are just all the logs I've generated, just trying to get the bike running, you know, turning the bike on and off. All right, and then so you highlight all that, and then you put in, and then yeah, you have to say generate one. I did generate one large file, so it combines everything into one CSV file, and then you open it up in Excel or something, and then you put a name to it, okay? And then there it is. So this is what it spit out. So now I found out what's wrong with it, okay, guys? So this here, there's a lot of stuff in here. So this is my VIN number, okay? That's my VIN number right there. So 139. That's, so if you guys are wondering why I call it Empulse 139, because it's the 139th Empulse to be built, okay? Victory Empulse. All right, and you got a date here, and you got an hour. If you're, I guess if the clock is right on your bike, this is accurate, and the clock is right on my bike. I don't know what this yes is, and then here is the important one. G. Okay, G. The G column is diagnostic stuff. Okay, so here, here's the problem. Here's what. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with the bike, and I'll tell you how I came to that conclusion. The battery temp sensor failed. Okay, so I was thumbing through the BTH and BTL, the battery temps, and I noticed BTL doesn't show anything. It's just dashed out, and then the BTH had a number on it. So that lets me know that, you know, there must be multiple battery temperature sensors, like one or some of them have failed. Okay, so there's actually a B8 fault. Okay, it's not just a B40. So there's more than one fault. There's a B8 fault. So battery temperature sensor failure. So that is the problem with the bike. Okay, because the battery temperature sensor failed, it put the bike in a standby mode because it doesn't know what it doesn't know what the status of the battery is. Okay, and then this is system fault B40, BMS back in idle mode. So there's actually two faults, but it's only displaying this one, like, because I guess the dash doesn't show more than one fault. I can tell you this, there's a B9 fault also, so I'll probably go start digging in the bike for that later. But yeah, it says the battery is too cold. Okay, battery fault, too cold. And then, all right, the battery temp is too cold, and then there's something, yeah, battery fault, battery too cold, come to a full stop. I know what this is. This is the kickstand. Okay, the kickstand is down, so it won't operate the bike. Okay, so these are what's keeping the bike. This is preventing so these faults here are what's preventing the bike from moving. Okay, so one, the kickstand is down, but if I put the kickstand up, it still doesn't run because it thinks the battery is too cold, you know, so it's like kind of, and then the battery temperature sensor failed. Okay, so that was the problem. The very last thing I checked on the bike was the problem, the battery temperature. So could you believe that? Okay, and I can pinpoint exactly when it happened too. I'll tell you, I looked it up. So we're gonna go here to there is just so much data, but if you go here, it starts to change. Okay, so all of this is just me riding the bike. Okay, like I put the kickstand up, I put the kickstand down. This is me doing DoorDash. Okay, like I probably put the kickstand up and down like a bunch of times. Okay, every time the kickstand is down, it tells you this. Okay, but you can tell it changed right here. So this is when something happened to the bike. So during charging, I think, how can I tell this is a charging light? It doesn't say, man. You can probably find out somewhere, but here, so from here, okay, it's cool. You can check the voltages too. I can see here. We're gonna kind of go I'm gonna go through the log right here, if I can okay, right here. Okay, so here we go. So I stopped riding the bike at 1427. That's 227 for you non-military time folks. And then like I said, after midnight, I plug the bike in. That's what I normally do to get, you know, the cheapest electricity rate. So on February 7, 2021, 1:06 a.m. Okay, 1:06 hours, I plugged the bike in to charge. Okay, and then if you look farther down in this log, it'll actually tell the pack voltage, and you can actually watch the pack voltage rise as it's charging. Okay, anyway, so yeah, it's charging. It's been charging for a couple hours. I remember around 3 o'clock, almost 3 or 4, I went to sleep. So literally right as I went to sleep, the battery failed. Okay, something in the battery failed at exactly February 7, 3:38 a.m. All right, I got a battery temperature sensor failure. Okay, so that's when the battery temperature sensor failed. And I had imagined it was fully charged when that happened, because it was fully charged when I started the bike up the next day. Okay, now it's saying it's too hot. Okay, over temperature alarm. But it's over temperature, but then the temperature sensor failed, so it's like it's faulty, so it's not reading, it's malfunctioning, it's not reading the right temperature. So it puts the bike into B40, BMS in idle mode, and then the kickstand is down. Okay, so and then here we got battery too hot. So I don't know, maybe when it was charging, the battery got too hot. What I'm thinking is maybe one of the cells failed, you know, and it might have shorted out. I'm not sure, because it was charging and it was at full state of charge. But you know, I don't think that's a problem. I think it's just the temperature sensor failed. Okay, yeah, so and then now it says temperature sensor failed. Now it says the battery is too cold. Okay, so definitely I think the sensor failed. That's what the problem is. Now which sensor, I don't know. Where is it? I don't know. I think it's inside it would have to be inside the battery, so there's nothing I can really do about it unless I want to open it up and try to fix it myself, which it's still under warranty. Don't do that. So it says the battery's too cold, come to a full stop. Here it says, yeah, so this battery temperature sensor failure, that's a B8 fault. Okay, like I mentioned, and then it puts it into B40. So basically B40 is it's like a standby mode. Like it'll like the bike kind of runs, but it won't go anywhere. Okay, and then there's a battery too cold fault, and that's because there's no number for that, but it's because the temperature sensor failed. It's not outputting anything. Okay, and then that's it. Then it just says the same thing. It's too cold, too cold, too cold. Okay, same thing, and nothing ever changed after that. Accelerator deflected should be. That's, I think the throttle was open or something when I turned it on. This looks a little different, but it still says battery temperature failure. Oh yeah, so that's interesting. This one doesn't say it's too cold. Oh yeah, it does say. It's weird sometimes. Yeah, I was like doing some weird stuff. But yeah, so that's where it's stuck at. Okay, it thinks the battery is too cold and the sensor failed, and then it puts it in the idle mode. So it's like a fail-safe kind of mode. Okay, and yeah, so I can show you some other stuff this software does. It's kind of hard to like this stuff isn't like labeled nicely. It's like an AH, AI, AJ. So it's like, oh yeah, here, see, it says here charge. See, so this is a charge log or something. Standby. Oh yeah, see here, it says a drive. This is the last time I rode the bike. And then this is standby, and then charge right here. So this is how you know what kind of log it is. This is a drive log, and this is a charge log. Okay. What's some other stuff? I kind of just have to guess what this stuff is. Okay. But I can tell you this. Let's go to the charge logs. Okay, this is a charge log. You can look at the voltages for the pack. So this is the voltages right here. You can tell if any of these are bad, you know, you just kind of look at them. I'm not really sure what these are, but these look like it's a voltage of some sort. Maybe this is one of the upper pack or the lower pack. I'm not 100%, so it might be the lower pack because it's 40 volts. I think it should be more than that. It should be 60 volts, right? But yeah, these definitely look like voltages for the cells, okay, for each cell. So you've got like one here, one here, one here, and they do look pretty much all 3.7. okay, that's good. That's a good thing. 3.7, 3.7, 3.7. I don't see anything wrong with the battery, you know, with these voltages. So it looks like I think the cells are still good in it, but okay. And it says it's charging. One of these says the whole pack voltage too. Let me see. Right here. This is the whole, so EB up here is the full pack voltage. So you'll see it while it's charging, it rises. See, 1.105, 106, 106, 107. When does it stop? 108. I think around 110 is the max voltage. 111. Okay, it's going a little bit over. 112, 113, 114, 115. It better not go higher than 115. I know that. Oh, it does do 116. Okay, yeah. At 116, it stops charging. There you go. So you can see that it's just stopped charging. Like you see something else different here. So that means it reached its full voltage right there at 116. So it's fully charged right here. Okay. So while it was fully charged, okay, yeah. So it happened while it reached full charge. So that's something interesting to note also. So it happened right when the battery was fully charged. So the temperature sensor failed right when it got to full charge. So like Hades Omega had mentioned. Okay, yeah. So like Hades Omega had mentioned, something happened to the bike while it was charging. So you can see there right when it hit full 116 volts. Apparently is the cutoff when it's fully charged. Something happened to the battery. The temperature sensor failed. Okay, so that's not something normal. That's not something that's supposed to happen. I cannot find the B9 fault in there too, so I don't know. So the B9 is just a mysterious fault that like it has something to do with moisture in the battery. Okay, like yeah, something about moisture in the battery. I don't know where the sensor for that is. Okay. I didn't even know BMS monitored, you know, moisture. That's what to say. Okay, so yeah, I found out a lot of things. So I found out some things wrong with the bike. Okay, and it's still out of my control. It really is something wrong with the battery. So we should have Polaris or Victory take a look at it. Okay, because it's still under warranty. I shouldn't have to fix it. That's a good thing. Okay, I don't know what it takes to install a new pack. You know, can you just flip-flop them, you know, just get one from another? But they're very expensive too, is another thing. I was looking at the price. Yeah, I think they're upwards of $4,000. Like one of the modules is $4,000 and the other one costs more or something. So it would be a very expensive fix if I had to get a new battery. But I think it's just a component that failed in the battery. I'm not gonna lie, throughout this last year, the third year that I've owned this bike, I've had a lot of sensor failures on the bike. So I don't know, man. What's the dealio, man? These sensors are faulty. They're, you know, they don't last a long time. I know the ambient temperature, it's never really right. I never, you know, I feel that it's always off by like the actual temperature, you know, and that's the one that's like underneath the tank cover. Okay, the motor temperature sensor failed on this bike. Okay. So what I do is I unplug it to trick the motor to trick the computer into thinking the bike is too hot, and it automatically turns the water pump on because it'll overheat if it doesn't run, if it thinks the bike is too cold all the time. Because when I plug it in, it says it's like minus something something. Like it can't be minus something something. It never gets that cold where I live. So that's how I know. Okay. And then now we got this battery temperature fault. Okay, so all the sensors are going bad on this bike. So I don't know if it's a common Empulse thing or a Victory Empulse thing. I think it is, because, you know, but yeah, I don't know if anybody else that has the same problem with me, you know, with the water pump, with the motor temp failure and the battery temp failure. So I've got two faulty sensors, and then I probably have a third faulty sensor, the B9 one, for the moisture in the battery. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely problems. It's definitely a problem with the battery is what's keeping it from running, but the motor has a problem also. The thermistor is not operating properly. Okay, and I do not know how to change the thermistor. I don't know where it's at. It's somewhere inside the motor. So I don't want to change. I don't, I don't even think there's a part you can order to fix that. So yeah, man, I don't know, man. I will tell them about that though. I will tell them about that when I drop it off. It's like, hey, I got a B9 fault. I don't know if you guys can do anything about it under warranty, because it's part of the powertrain. It's not part of the battery. I don't know if the motor is included with the battery warranty. So I will let you guys know about that when I drop the bike off, if they will fix the B9, not the B9. Well, yeah, they'll have to. I'll tell them about the B9 fault, but I will tell them everything that I found out. Okay, so just to make it easier on them. So I'm pretty sure they could find this stuff out with the Victory software, which they probably have. Okay, or Polaris software, whatever they got to diagnose this. They should be able to find out what's wrong with it. Okay, so all the stuff that I just found out right now, they should be able to find it out much easier than I did, because the software that I use to convert the data is like, it's kind of hard to read. Okay, I think theirs is like nicer. It kind of translates everything and it looks nicer. So I'm just using like a converter and a spreadsheet to view everything. Okay, and I kind of just look at it and, oh yeah, that's what that looks like. That's what that looks like. So yeah. So there's that, and yeah, I don't know if they can fix that thermistor problem. It's the bike is past its 2-year warranty, so the bike has a 2-year warranty on any defective parts on that. Which freaking temperature sensor sounds like a defective part to me. And I don't know if the motor is covered in the battery warranty, so I will ask them that. Okay, so because maybe they can fix it. Yeah, so like all this stuff looks fixable is what I'm gonna say. Okay, but you have to know what you're doing. Okay, and I don't, so I'm not qualified to work on that. And but I tell you this, if I had a 475-pound paperweight in my garage, I would take it apart myself and try to fix it. Okay, so yeah, but I'm gonna leave it in Victory / Polaris hands. Okay, or Clausen Motorsports in this case. So okay, so yeah, the bike's gonna go to Clausen Motorsports on Thursday, but it's good to know I know exactly what the problem is, and I will tell them everything that I found out in this video. Okay, it's like, hey, yeah, I found this software for Brammo stuff, and I'm like, I was poking around with it, and this is what I found out. So you can just I'll tell them everything that happened, and then they can just verify it with their software, and then see what they can do from there. Okay, but it definitely looks fixable. It definitely looks fixable. It definitely looks like if you just fix that temperature sensor, the bike will run again. Okay, but it's kind of like it's kind of discouraging knowing that, like, yeah, all the sensors are failing on the bike, and if, like, it's like on a car. Like if a sensor fails on the car, then that part doesn't work, and then the computer freaks out. In this case, it just doesn't provide power to the motor anymore. Okay. It just says like, hey, this doesn't look right, I'm gonna shut the bike down. It's not going anywhere, because we don't want to damage the bike or the motor, or you don't want to damage anything on the bike. So it's like a fail-safe. Okay? It's in a fail-safe mode is what it is. That's what that B40 fault is. Okay, so yeah, I learned a lot of things today. Thanks Kafra. Yeah, I learned a lot from looking at the log file, just digging around in it. But it's kind of still out of my hands. But it's good to know what's the exact problem wrong with the bike, and I was able to tell when it happened, what exact time it happened, what the state of the battery was, and what the different faults there are. There was more than one fault. Okay, and it was hiding it. It was the B8 fault. Okay, so it actually has a B8 and a B40 fault, and then the B, I'm looking at it right now, it says B36 over temperature, but that's when it happened. It said over temperature, and then, so I don't know, something happened to that sensor. It just failed. It just says it was too hot and too cold. That reminds me of the motor temp sensor. Okay, the motor temp sensor was doing the same thing. It was saying it was too hot and it was getting too cold. It could be some kind of moisture or something got somewhere and it shorted something out. Anything could happen. Okay, I try not to ride the bike in the rain, but sometimes I do. Yeah, but I haven't done it for a while. That's what I want to say. Okay, so yeah, that's the update. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. All right, Ace Big out.